Let me be honest with you. No one is coming. Not the government. Not your friends. Not your family. Not even fate. Sooner you accept this truth, the sooner you'll reclaim the power that was always yours. The world is not obligated to rescue you, and it rarely rewards those who wait. It rewards those who act, who rise, who take full responsibility for their lives. This is not cruelty. This is clarity. We live in an age of excuses where blame is currency and comfort is king. But I tell you this, if you wish to master yourself, if you truly desire growth, you must abandon the hope that someone else will do the work for you. You must take command. Let me share with you a story from my early life. I once knew a man named Harold. He was a coal porter in the northern towns, a man of thick hands, a heavy back, and his spirit weighed down by hardship. Harold had been dealt a hard life. His father died when he was 9. His mother cleaned floors until her body gave in. Harold, by 13, was already working long hours in the dark, damp pits of the earth. And yet, he dreamed. He had a vision of one day owning a printing press and publishing ideas that could uplift others like him. He would whisper to me in the dim corners of the chapel after work, "I want to start something, Sam. Something that matters. But life, it keeps beating me down." I listened. Then I asked him one question. "What are you waiting for?" He looks at me as though I hadn't heard him. "I've no money, no time, no education. I'm just one man." And I replied, "Yes, one man. And that is enough if he refuses to be defeated." Harold didn't believe me at first. Like many, he thought change had to come from the outside, from someone with more means, more status, more connections. He waited for a miracle. But the miracle never came. Years passed. His body aged. His eyes dulled. He stopped speaking of his dream. He stopped believing it was possible. Then one winter evening, something shifted. He showed up to our meeting with ink on his fingers. "I've taken extra shifts, saved enough to buy old type blocks, borrowed space behind the smithy. It's nothing grand, but it's a start." That small press, crude and slow, became a sanctuary. He printed small pamphlets, stories, moral teachings, parables, advice for working men. He sold them for pennies, distributed them at gatherings, and gave them to boys at the mines who could barely read. 10 years later, Harold had a real press. A shop, apprentices, influence. But more than that, he had mastered himself. Not because someone saved him, but because he stopped waiting to be saved. You see, my friend, the greatest transformation begins when you stop outsourcing your salvation. There is no perfect moment. There is only this one. No one is more responsible for your destiny than you. The world may owe you nothing, but you owe yourself everything. Harold Press never became famous, but it changed lives, not because of grand gestures, but because of quiet, relentless effort. He woke up every day and decided to try, to push forward, to keep building, not for applause, not for comfort, but for dignity. Self-mastery is not a lightning strike. It is a daily decision, the discipline of the spirit. You are not helpless. You are not broken. You are simply unused. Unused strength, unused courage, unused willpower. all waiting for one decision to begin. Let this be the day you stop waiting. Let this be the day you move forward, regardless of your past. Because nobody will save you. But you can save yourself. And that is the most powerful truth of all. Many people misunderstand the nature of strength. They believe it must be loud, visible, applauded. But true strength often appears in silence, in the quiet resistance to despair, in the uncelebrated choice to stand again after being knocked down. Let me tell you about Clara. She was a seamstress in a narrow London alley, the kind of place where dreams suffocate from lack of air. Her husband abandoned her. She had 2 children. No savings, no formal education. For a time she begged for work, patching torn garments for pennies. But Clara was not a woman who waited for help. She learned to mend faster. She learned to sell herself with pride instead of pity. She carried herself with such quiet dignity that even the cruelest merchant softened when speaking with her. Still, the struggle did not vanish. Every night her fingers bled. Every morning she stitched before the sun rose. When illness took her youngest son, she did not break, though her heart did. She wept in private. But the next day she returned to the needle. Eventually, Clara began teaching younger women in her street how to sew, not because she was asked to, but because she believed no one should endure what she had endured alone. She turned her sorrow into strength, her strength into service. Years later, Clara was running a small workshop, humble but respected. Girls who might have turned to the streets now had skills, discipline, and self-worth. And none of it came from being rescued. Clara mastered herself. She refused to be defined by pain, by abandonment, by scarcity. She didn't complain. She created. She didn't wait. She moved. Her life was not easy, but it was hers. You must understand this. Hardship is not the enemy. It is the test. It reveals whether you will become bitter or brave. No law guarantees fairness. No system guarantees rescue. The world is full of comforters who never act, and actors who never complain. Be the second. Discipline is the armor. Responsibility is the weapon. And self-mastery is the victory. You will have to move forward without applause. You will have to build without support. You will have to try again without assurance. But you can. You absolutely can. Clara proved that strength does not shout. It endures. And when you begin to master yourself, not because someone promised a reward, but because you refuse to be ruled by weakness, you change the shape of your destiny. Let others wait. Let others blame. Let others collapse. You rise. Because nobody will save you. But you are not beyond saving. And if you begin now, with whatever you have wherever you are, your life will no longer be a question mark. It will become a statement of courage, of will, of quiet greatness. You may not have the support you hoped for. You may not have the resources you dreamed of. You may feel alone in a world that seems too vast, too cruel, too indifferent. But let me tell you the truth that few will. You are not powerless. The world does not reward complaint. It rewards effort. It rewards those who rise before dawn and keep moving when their legs beg for rest. It rewards those who demand more of themselves than anyone else ever will. No one is coming to build your life for you. No one is coming to lift you out of your chaos. No one is coming with a map, a key, or a ladder. But you, yes, you, are already everything you need. The mind can be trained. The body can be hardened. The spirit can be forged in fire. If you wait for motivation, you will rot. If you wait for help, you will stall. But if you move, if you act, you awaken the hidden power within you. There was a man I met once, John, a coal miner's son, raised in hardship, mocked for his stutter, ignored by scholars. He never had books, never had mentors, but he had a will sharper than any tool. He rose before the sun, studied by lantern light, copied pages from borrowed texts. He failed often, but each failure shaped him. He became a teacher, then a speaker, then a leader. He built himself, not out of privilege, but out of pain. You must do the same. Not because the world is fair, but because your future is yours. Do not waste one more hour begging life to be easier. Instead, become stronger, more focused, more relentless. Become the kind of person no storm can shake. The kind of person who creates light when all goes dark. The kind of person who, when no one shows up to help, builds a ladder with bare hands and climbs anyway. Master yourself. That is the ultimate rebellion. That is the true revolution. Not against society, not against fate, but against the weakest version of you. You don't need saving. You need to remember who you are. So stand now, not because you feel ready, but because life does not pause. Stand because somewhere deep within, you know the truth. Nobody will save you. But the person you're meant to become is already inside you, waiting to be unleashed. Start today, because no one else can live your life for you. And the world is desperate for someone like you. Not polished, not perfect, but powerful because you chose to rise.